All right, so we have one of our incredible Inner Circle clients here, Richard Shaull. He's an absolutely amazing person. Richard, why don't you just share a little bit about your business, about yourself, and then some of the biggest breakthroughs that you've seen in this process.
Yeah, thanks, Aleric. So my name is Richard Shaull. I'm the CEO of a company called Unleash CEO. We basically help six-figure service-based business owners install the systems and team they need to regain their time freedom and scale past seven figures. So that's a bit about us. And man, working with AdOutreach has been such an amazing part of our growth journey over the past the past couple months. And now we're part of Inner Circle to continue that growth. And so it's been so cool. Aleric and I were just talking before the call about how we just hired our first salesperson. The week after, we'll be hiring an in-house recruiter, and the week after that, we'll be hiring our head of client success. And I really can credit the growth that we've seen to the strategies we were taught by AdOutreach. And I remember, like, when we first kind of came into the program, we were still, somewhat new as a company, but we had some experience. But our marketing was just super time intensive. It was all organic. And we'd done a little bit with Facebook ads previously, but didn't really get great success, very mixed results. And we were doing about, $50K a month, 40 to $50K a month, something like that. But it was so cool because when we started with AdOutreach, it was a little scary at first. Like, just to be honest, we were spending money and like, we weren't seeing anything happen. And the AdOutreach team was kind of here with us to like hold our hand and be like, trust the process. And, we were optimizing. And then I remember when we got that first booked call and that first sale. And the first book call we ever had turned into a sale. We were like, what? It happened. We're like, we cracked the code on YouTube ads together. And then it was just cool to see following that. It took a little bit of time. It took patience. It took perseverance. But just to see the calls start to trickle in more and more and more and more over time. And now it's to the point where we just celebrated, our first six-figure month. And it's just been amazing to know that, as long as we're focused on those strategies, we can continue to scale our marketing and scale our revenue and reach the people we ultimately want to reach. So we're super thankful to AdOutreach and the Inner Circle team for helping us get there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's absolutely incredible, Richard. And just diving into a little bit, like you talked a little bit about before, kind of the organic, that side of it, and, what you were kind of experiencing. What would you say is the biggest, marketing challenge that you were facing before? Because some of the people watching right now, they might be in this spot. What would you say is the biggest marketing challenge you had before, kind of diving into AdOutreach?
Yeah, I think it was just mainly the amount of time it took to produce results, right? And so I like creating content. I have no problem with that. And, I'm thankful that I am thankful that we had some of that dialed in before we tried to move to paid advertising, truthfully. But it just got to a certain point where it was like, man, I can't be the full-time, marketer and the CEO of my business. Like, I have to actually practice what I preach and what I teach my clients. And so that's where we help people build systems. And that's really what AdOutreach helped us make the transition to do. So I would say the biggest struggle before, again, was just the amount of time it took to produce a certain level of volume of interest from, the people we were trying to serve. We just weren't able to scale that beyond the confines of my time.
Absolutely. And what would you say is that biggest breakthrough, that moment when you realize, and obviously you talked about that first book call, becoming the sale, but what would you say is kind of that biggest breakthrough that you had, through the program?
Honestly, Aleric, I think one of the biggest breakthroughs for me was really feeling like I had ownership and control, finally, over my company's marketing strategy, right? And knowing that I wasn't actually depending just on some foreign entity to, throw money at them and hope they fixed our marketing problem. And I also wasn't just spinning my wheels, producing some revenue, but just like feeling like it was a never ending cycle of content creation, feeling like I kind of got control over a system to scale and grow our marketing. And I was really surprised, to be honest, as more of a visionary personality, how much I enjoyed the process once I took the time to get competent. I actually really enjoy logging into our YouTube ads account now, like more than I thought I would. Because like once you get it, and the system that Aleric and his team does this so well, once you really get it, it's an empowering feeling to log in there, even if there's some things that have to be dialed in, because there's a level of competence and confidence that's been developed. And I think for me, that's been the biggest breakthrough.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And talking about, some of the results that you're seeing now that you have these breakthroughs and everything. I know you talked about the 40 to 50,000, scaling that up to your first 6-figure month, which is incredible. And there's many more. We're talking about this already, where that comes from and all the growth from here. What would you say is, what does that mean to your business? I know you're hiring new people, you're expanding, you're growing. What do those results really mean to you?
Great question. Yeah. So I think you already said it, but the biggest, maybe most meaningful thing that comes from that is just the caliber of people we feel confident hiring now. And my probably favorite part of what I get to do is not doing it. It's actually partnering with really capable people who are better than I am, and then really setting them up to win. And so that's my background. And now having a marketing system in place means I actually get to do the thing that I love to do probably more than anything else, with the revenue to support it. So there you go.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And what would you say, and just wrapping up here, because I know you're going to have to go in a second here. So what would you say is kind of that key factor that made the big difference with us as a team, at AdOutreach, working with you? What would you say is kind of that big factor that you had, in hitting those milestones? What was kind of that difference maker of working with our team, do you feel?
Yeah, I think the thing that comes to mind, I'm sure there are many, but the thing that comes to mind is a lot of other marketing strategies that, we'd kind of been exposed to kind of felt like guesswork. It was sort of like throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks, Yeah. And we had done some of that ourselves in the past. But I felt like with this program, once I really dug in and I committed the time, to kind of master the system, there was a pretty clear path to growth. And then there was a lot of support where needed to get us back on track. And so I think that path, again, if somebody's willing to like commit the time to really build a marketing system for their business, the guesswork has kind of been taken out of it by you guys. And you've built a system that works to really refine down and find that perfect avatar out on Google, out on, YouTube, and get in front of them in a way that's huge. I think the other big factor, other than guesswork, was just the power of video. And I knew that coming into the process, that was a sweet spot for me. And I think it is probably for a lot of leaders more than they know, but they're not being fully represented. Their heart, their passion, their mission, the true expertise of what they do isn't always being fully represented when they're just hiring a company to do copywriting, or maybe trying to quickly jot down a Facebook ad. It's like getting your face. A mentor of mine says there's favor in your face, and something about like having favor with people. I've been so amazed by how getting on calls with people, how much rapport is already there, because they've already been seeing my face so much and listening to me and connecting with me. And so I think that was a huge difference maker as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's incredible. And the last question I have, I always ask this. Somebody might be watching this video right now, and they're on the fence, right? Maybe they're on the fence about joining the program or even just booking a call. What would you say to that person who's thinking about YouTube ads, thinking about AdOutreach? They're on the fence right now. What would you say to that person watching this video?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I would say is, number one, I would ask yourself, are you ready to invest in building a marketing system for your business, right? And get out of kind of the hustle and grind of marketing yourself. Do you understand the people you serve? And are you really ready to actually build a system that can sustainably put you in front of them so that you can serve them? And if the answer to that is yes, I don't know of a better marketing strategy that exists than what Aleric and his team have created with YouTube ads. And so especially, I think if you're a coach or consultant, you're a business that provides something really impactful and you want to get in front of those people in a really unique way, there's nothing like YouTube. And I don't think there's anybody who's made it simpler to make that process, that tool work for you than Aleric and his team at AdOutreach.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Richard. It's been incredible being a part of the growth and journey you've had so far. And I know we were just strategizing before this call, how to get you to that next level, from that 40, 50,000 to six-figure months. And I have no doubt many multiples of that as we go forward. I'll be excited to do another update of this in the future. And I already told you, we'll be looking back and seeing even additional growth from there. So this has been incredible. Thank you again for hopping on here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome, Aleric.